Hello friends, my name is Arithurger and today I'm going to talk about Ansuz. So this rune literally means Odin, and it's connected with this deity due to being a figure instrumental in the creation of mankind. It's a rune connected with breath, the breath of life in every sense of the word. It's connected with the transmission of intelligence, communication, reason, order, language, and spell song, and casting and chanting when it comes to use the voice for spiritual and magical purposes. It's connected with speech, poetry, and the breath which gives life, and it's passed along through the ancestral line. Through communication we acquire wisdom, knowledge, we come to an understanding, we settle disputes, we discuss problems, we maintain order. And it's through speech that we can communicate with the divine. And this is one of the reasons when people work with the runes and call upon the powers of each rune, they invoke the name of the runes, but not pronouncing each syllable, but chanting the sound of each letter. And that is called Galdra, a chanted spell or incantation. Now let's go through the mythology around this rune. So this rune is connected with the god Odin, and in some accounts he is the creator of the runes himself. But the one we hear the most, or the version we are most familiar with, is the version where he goes through a great ordeal of physical pain and near-death experience, through which he acquires the knowledge of the runes by hanging himself on the world tree Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights. But Ansuz is connected to one of the several spiritual gifts given to Askr and Hemla, the primal man and woman. And such a gift was given by Odin, Vili and Ve. And in other accounts the gods are Odin, Hönir and Lulhur, possibly a threefold aspect of the god Odin. So this gift was Hund or Hanba, breath, spiritual, the life principle which animates matter. So Ansuz is the expresser of spiritual power, a force given by the gods to mankind, and mankind uses that force to continue to reproduce it through magical, spiritual and religious acts. If you take a close look at the runes, they tell us a story from start to finish. They are all connected. And Ansuz is still very much connected with the previous runes, especially with the first rune, Theu, which is a rune connected with the giver of life and the first being, the cosmic cow Haudumbla, the one who brought forth life, and a line of ancestors was created until Odin and his brothers appear and slay the giant Hymir and use his body parts to create the world. So the three brothers from chaos forge order, balance, and in this new world they bring life, a new life. They make their own creations. They fashion the first human beings. Ansuz is a rune connected with wisdom. Wisdom gained through communication, speech, singing, poetry. And there are several myths involving Odin and him gaining wisdom, such as in the Havamal and other Hedic sources. For instance, the quest of the mead of poetry. Through lies, trickery and the power of suggestion, in his quest Odin involves a variety of characters and betrays those characters or leads them to their deaths to achieve his goal. The mead of poetry was created from the blood of Kvasir, the wisest of all gods. And Odin doesn't care what happens to others as long as he gains nourishment from another source of wisdom. In other accounts, Odin kills himself for the knowledge of the runes. He even sacrifices an eye in the well of Mimir to gain wisdom, the knowledge of all things. So wisdom is a source of power, and such a power through words can be manifested to our own purposes. Now let's go to the meaning of this rune in a rune reading, and let's start with its upright position. Now, fast changing situations are to be expected when this rune is drawn in a rune reading. You may be facing a whole new set of circumstances and you have close to nothing about the correct way in which to proceed. Now, consciously you have no clues, but the unconscious might give you the answers that you need if you spend a little time trying to interpret it. Dreams might give you what you need, a sort of communication with yourself to give you guidance. This rune is connected with how we express ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to construct a speech from our ideas. So take a deep breath, ponder your words before speaking. The key in here is knowing how to receive messages, signs, gifts of wisdom by listening and expressing our thoughts correctly. This rune is connected with the creation of mankind, the development of new life, which means unveiling new life for yourself. And a new life means having different and new contacts, experiences with others, which might help us in going in the direction of new paths. Be attentive, especially during encounters, visits, particularly with people wiser than you. This suggests that the influence of an helpful advisor will be a prominent feature in your life very soon, and this person is likely to be from an older generation. When this rune is drawn, expect the unexpected. After all, soon enough you might get a call to begin a new path in your life. Ansuz is the first rune which completes the cycle of initiation, which means runes that are directly focused on the mechanism of self-transformation. And as such, this rune meets our need to integrate unconscious motives with conscious intentions. The spoken word and the power of persuasion are the basic meanings of this rune. Don't forget that the runes in themselves are words of power. Thus, the appearance of Ansuz in a rune reading ensures that you have to use your wits and your verbal dexterity to remove yourself from already existing problems or problems to come very soon, especially legal matters. Now let's go to the meaning of this rune inverted. So, as you might have guessed, this rune reversed might mean miscommunication, misinformation, trickery. So pay attention to details and listen as much as you talk. People wonder why I am so quiet in social occasions and I just stand there listening like a creep. Well, I am learning. We may be worried about what seems to us a lack of communication, a lack of clarity or awareness in past or present situations. We may feel inhibited to accept what is being offered to us. A sense of futility might fill us. But just remember though, what is happening to us, what is happening to you is timely for your evolution. It's necessary. A loss of voice might be what this rune is trying to tell you. When inverted, it might literally be a loss of voice due to a disease, but not that likely. The runes work better in a symbolical way. So this might mean that you will not be able to make yourself be heard. Problems with communication in general, sometimes due to isolation, or your thoughts might become confused because of a variety of personal reasons. Now, in terms of binding runes, I think it's extremely useful to combine this rune, Ansuz, the rune connected with listening, with speech, with communication and meaning. I think it's useful to combine it with Berkano, the rune of secrets, of silence and true listening, and also combine it with Manhas, the rune of higher reasoning and mental abilities. Words are important and should be chosen with care. The word itself makes nothing more or less real except in our minds, because words affect people and people's actions towards those words affect the world. Words may inspire us to take action, so let's choose our words carefully if we want people's actions to be productive and positive. Alright friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and all the links to my social media are down below at the description. Thank you so much for watching, see you on the next video, and of course, tack för idag!